Tonight, we're going to look at two men who became symbols of a very specific, very modern myth. They weren't just brilliant inventors, were figures later recast as martyrs, supposedly silenced because their creations threatened the world as we know it. One of these men genuinely reshaped civilization, the other promised to, but both became legends only after their life's work collapsed. The first is Nikola Tesla. Born in 1856, Tesla wasn't merely intelligent or eccentric. He was foundational. His work on alternating current, induction motors, and electrical distribution systems underpins the very infrastructure that powers modern life. The electricity running through your home right now, lighting this screen, still relies on principles Tesla helped establish. He also experimented with radio transmission, X-rays, and high-voltage systems, often long before others received public credit for similar work. But Tesla wasn't content with practical success. He wanted scale, he wanted elegance. Eventually, he wanted something that reality simply couldn't support. His most ambitious vision was the wireless transmission of power across the entire globe. Using a massive structure known as the Wardenclyffe Tower in New York, the idea was incredibly seductive. Electricity delivered freely, without wires, meters, or corporate control. Power is a universal, free resource for all humanity. The problem wasn't sabotage or some shadowy conspiracy. It was physics and economics. The energy loss over vast distances was immense. The infrastructure required was staggeringly expensive, and investors quickly realized that a system offering free energy had no clear way to generate returns. It was a business nightmare. So funding dried up, construction stopped, and the magnificent tower was abandoned, a monument to a dream that was too big. Tesla spent his final years increasingly isolated and died in 1943 with very little money to his name. And that's when the myth truly began. After his death, Tesla was transformed from a brilliant but flawed inventor into a suppressed genius. His papers were seized by the FBI, which is true, but this was standard procedure for prominent figures during wartime. They were later reviewed and largely declassified. There were no hidden superweapons, no secret free energy devices. Just notebooks filled with incredible ideas and a lot of unfinished work. The suppression narrative didn't come from evidence. It came from our collective disappointment mixed with a deep admiration for the man. We wanted the dream to be real. Decades later, a second figure would step into a similar role. In the 1980s, an inventor from Ohio named Stanley Meyer claimed he had built a car that could run on water. Now, I don't mean hydrogen fuel cells in the modern sense. He claimed his system could split water molecules with extraordinary efficiency, producing more energy than it consumed. It sounded revolutionary, a complete game changer for the entire planet. It also violated the fundamental laws of physics. Independent tests failed to replicate Meyer's results without hidden power sources or undocumented inputs. In 1996, a group of investors sued him for fraud. The case went to court and Meyer lost. The ruling stated that his claims were fraudulent and grossly exaggerated, and that his demonstrations relied on conventional electrical energy, not some new miraculous principle. 2 years later, in 1998, Meyer died suddenly from a brain aneurysm while eating dinner. Almost immediately, the story changed. His death was reframed as suspicious. His conspiracies bloomed. Claims of government hitmen, oil industry interference, and suppressed patents spread like wildfire despite a complete lack of evidence. The official cause of death was pushed aside in favor of a more dramatic narrative. What links Tesla and Meyer isn't just energy or invention, it's timing. Both men impressed audiences with incredibly bold ideas. Both positioned themselves as lone visionaries fighting against the establishment. Both failed when their most extreme claims met rigorous scientific and financial scrutiny, and both became far more powerful as symbols once they were no longer alive to contradict the legends built around them. When we ground these stories in reality, the picture becomes far less mysterious. Tesla wasn't suppressed. His alternating current system won the war of the currents decisively and became the backbone of global power distribution. That's a massive win, not a failure. As for wireless power, it does exist today, but it only works efficiently at very short ranges, like with your phone's wireless charger. Over long distances, energy loss makes it wildly impractical. No secret cabal is needed to explain that. Mathematics does the job just fine. Meyer's case is even simpler. Cannot get more energy out of a system than you put into it. That's a core principle of thermodynamics. Electrolysis, the process of splitting water, consumes more energy than the resulting hydrogen releases when it's burned. Expert testimony in court showed that his setup relied on external electrical inputs he wasn't accounting for. This isn't controversial science. It's basic physics taught in high school. So why do these myths persist? Why are they so compelling? Because we are naturally drawn to the story of the lone genius standing against powerful institutions. Because we often distrust corporations and governments, sometimes with very good reason. And maybe most of all, because we want miracles. We want free energy, simple solutions, a hidden breakthrough that solves all our problems without sacrifice or difficult work. But chasing these myths pulls our attention and energy away from real progress. The genuine advances happening in solar power, battery technology, and even nuclear fusion are slow. It's difficult and frankly unglamorous. They don't make for exciting legends about martyred heroes. They require patience, collaboration, and a dedication to the slow grind of science rather than just belief. The real conspiracy here isn't one of suppression. It's our own willingness to choose a better story over a harder truth. So the next time you hear someone say, they silenced him for his invention, ask one simple question before you believe anything else. What is the evidence? Thanks for listening. Keep questioning, and I'll see you in the next one.